did a photo booth side hustle turn into a $6 million a year business? Well, stick around because this founder is going to tell you exactly how to start a picture-perfect business of your own.
You got to commit first and then figure it out later. We didn't have a lot of money. The first year we did over 6 figures.
No experience, no background in it to think I could do that better.
They already proved the concept works, right?
Right.
All I got to do is bring an extra piece of equipment and I could make more money. I think we did about $8,000 for that event. So I would say around 80%.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now that's a good profit margin.
Off to start businesses and change lives.
All right, Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, and what you love about being the photo booth king of Texas and the world.
Yeah, so we got started about 12 years ago, and I started off as a wedding DJ, saw a photo booth there, and we built it up. I started doing about 800 events a year.
What?
And yeah, it was super crazy. People were asking us like, hey, where could we buy the photo booth from? Because we would have people coming in from out of town to these events, and they'd never seen a photo booth before. So we saw an opportunity there to create Photo Booth International, and so we help people get started with their photo booth business by providing everything they need and a turnkey package.
Go back a little bit before the business. Who are you as a person? Where did you come from? What's a little bit about your story?
Originally, I'm from South Africa, so we moved here in 2001. We had to start from zero. Did multiple side hustles growing up. I used to mow lawns, wash cars, and that's kind of what led me up to becoming a wedding DJ, and now I'm doing photo booths.
What experiences shaped your philosophy on success and entrepreneurship? What do you want to highlight?
When you move here from another country, like you don't really have connections, you start from zero. When you let that settle in and realize, hey, you got to do whatever it takes to make it big, you want to take more risk.
Did you recognize that early on?
When I got into being a teenager, I was like, hey, I want more. Like I want a big house. I want to be able to buy what I want, you know, and I want to be able to travel.
Side hustles doesn't have to mean drop shipping or couch flipping. Keep watching as Josh shares the new gold standard for side hustles. All right, so your personal trainer, you said, goes to your house, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we do the same and go check it out?
Let's go.
All right. All right, Josh, tell us about this place.
Yeah, welcome home. This is our dream home, built it last year. You know, we're gonna raise our kids here, and so we're gonna be here for a while, so we went all out.
Everything is big in Texas. Tell us a little bit about the home. How many square feet? Probably 3,000 square feet?
No, not 3,000. It's about 6,000.
Well, let's get inside. It's a little chill out here in Texas.
Yep.
Thank you for welcoming us into your home. You guys want to come in with us? We'll go check it out. So you were at a wedding as a DJ in the early days, and you see somebody else's photo booth there, obviously, right? And then you think, I could do that better. Help us understand that story. What are you thinking? What gave you the confidence, no experience, no background in it, to think that you can do it better? What flaws did you see?
I saw that photo booth there. I was like, it doesn't look great. I know they didn't put a lot of effort into it. It was made out of pipe. I mean, it was a PVC pipe and using like curtains. And it was just kind of like homemade.
Just cheesy.
It looks cheesy and cheap. And I'm like, this is a nice event. We're on a ranch. Like, I know the bride and groom spend a lot of money. Now, obviously, at that time, 10 years ago, there was not a lot of options, and that was the standard. But I was like, well, we could make it look better. So the one that we designed first, we actually had a pop-up canopy tent that was made, and it had a photo booth written around it. So it was really clean and crisp. It didn't look homemade. It was a professional tent, and it had a fully enclosed covering, and the photo booth was inside of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're DJing and something catches your attention. You're like,
because nobody's on the
that's
dance floor.
ugly,
Everybody's
you know?
at the photo booth when they're not on the dance floor. You know?
Okay.
So I'm competing
Gave
now.
you a time, yeah.
They already proved the concept works, right?
Right.
And I'm already at the event doing the wedding. All I got to do is bring an extra piece of equipment, and I can make more money. So it was a natural progression on the business at the time.
So you built your first photo booth because it's quite different, from what's behind us.
Right.
But when you did that, talk to us about how you acquired your first customer with regards to the photo booth. Was it an add-on as a DJ?
The first event was an add-on, and so, but to get the first event, at that time we were starting off, we didn't have a lot of money or no budget, so we were actually posting ads on Craigslist. Yeah, we got a phone call one day, it was from Mary Brown, I remember her. So yeah, she booked us for DJ and photo booth, and yeah, that was a $500 event, and yeah, we took the photo booth there, and we had a couple of problems. We got there, we forgot the cutter because we were using an inkjet printer back then, and cut each photo. Each photo would take like a minute and a half to print.
Ouch.
Now it prints like in 30 seconds, in 20 seconds, so
seen
super
that, yeah.
fast. But yeah, we made it work, and yeah, while I was DJing that event, I forgot my laptop at home, so I had to DJ with 2 iPhones.
Oh man.
So yeah, a lot of learning in that first event, but it was fun, you know, and we learned a lot, and brought us to where we are today.
So back in 2012, you started Photo Booth International. I want to know the costs associated with that startup.
So I would say we started off with about $3,000. We spent maybe $1,000 or so building the actual photo booth itself and getting the equipment, and then the rest went to graphics, website. And then the biggest expense that I can recall now was our investment into the actual photo printer. Back then it was
printer, not even the photo booth.
Yeah. This is the printer, because we started off with the inkjet printer. One you can buy at Walmart for like $50, but that one took like a minute or two to print. But after that, we invested into the photo printer. I remember it was $800 for the printer, and then we had to spend another $250 on the ink and paper. So starting off, just that alone, that was it's like $1,000 for a piece of equipment. But it was a good investment, right? Because we can now print photos faster and we were more professional. So that's what it took for us to start in the back. But now you can get turnkey packages, which is what we offer, and you get everything you need. You don't have to go anywhere else and scavenge it. We have payment plans and financing available.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll check those out. So 2012 is when you started Photo Booth International. 2013, what's the revenue look like already by the end of the year?
Yeah, so we were doing the event rentals. The first year we did over 6 figures, about 150,000 in event rentals, yeah.
What about 2013 now?
2013 we did about 350. So it was scary for first-time entrepreneurs, and we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know about taxes, finances, bookkeeping, none of that stuff. We're just like figuring out as we go and making a lot of mistakes along the way.
How old are you at that point?
I was 23.
23,
yeah.
Okay. If people are watching, they get into this business, or maybe they're already doing it part-time. You mentioned 70% or so are part-timers. Tell us a little bit about going part-time to full-time. What are some key steps that we need to plan for, sit down, write out to make that switch?
Make sure you understand your photo booth and all the capabilities of it. Make sure you have your marketing set up properly. Make sure you have your online presence. Let's make sure that we understand the software. Like we have our CRM set up. Our website looks great, because a lot of this stuff, the marketing is, you can do mouth to mouth. You can call up venues. You can call up other photo booth owners. You can call up DJs, and you can do partnerships. And that really doesn't cost you much.
True, just time.
Yeah. And so I think if you think about it creatively in that aspect, not just, hey, okay, I need to spend more or buying something else, that you can really set yourself up for success.
Nice, well said. All right, Blitz time with Josh. Thanks guys for submitting your questions. First one is, what was your manufacturing background? How did you figure out how to make these photo booths?
No manufacturing background, just started off with designs on paper and consistently improved it from there.
Which marketing channel brought him the most deals, is the question.
I would say YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah.
From the get-go too?
Yeah, from the get-go. So YouTube always brought us the best deals because we demonstrated what we were doing at events, and we were able to use those videos to get more bookings.
What's the secret to scaling?
Scaling secret is to partner with venues and partner with other vendors.
Okay, we'll extrapolate that more. As someone with unfettered access to high-quality selfies, who is one person, coach, mentor, etc., that you'd love to take a selfie with?
Grant Cardone.
Nice, okay. Yeah. What's the most bizarre backdrop request you've ever had?
The ball pit photo booth was crazy.
That was?
Yeah.
Okay. What tech would you love to add to your photo booths?
AI. We're still working on that.
Last one, what's the top advice you would give someone who wants to start their own photo booth business?
Get started as soon as possible and start your YouTube channel and vlog the whole process. People like to watch a story.
Boom, that's it.
That's it.
Let's do it. All right, now we enter the warehouse. Whew.
So we don't have any right now, but if we have an order going out, we'll put the pallet here, we'll palletize it, we'll wrap it up, put the shipping labels and everything. So then we have the truck come back, pull up, load them up, and off to start businesses and change lives.
There you go. All right, what's this space, Josh?
All right, this is where the magic happens. So essentially he's installing the computer, the camera, the software. He's testing out everything. We do a 60-point inspection by 2 separate people. And we want to make it as seamless as possible whenever the customers get it.
Absolutely. So you're doing 10 to 15 events on a weekend, which is so exhausting. I want to take a nap just from hearing it.
It is.
Help us understand what these corporate clients are paying, what the revenue looks like, and any kind of cool, fun experiences from those events.
Yeah, corporate clients, we started branching off into that. There was more money, bigger budgets, and a lot of cool experiences. So one of the companies we used to work at, we did an event for McDonald's and Pandora.
Oh, wow. Okay.
A big event was in downtown Dallas. They wanted a ball pit photo booth. And so
a ball what?
A ball pit photo booth. So basically, there was a ball pit there, and we had to mount the camera above the ball pit, so the users would jump into the ball pit and then look up at the camera and take a photo. So
that's cool.
I remember one of our staff taking the call. They were like, "Well," I said, "Get it over to me." And so this is another lesson, like, hey, you gotta commit first and then figure it out later. So I said, I spoke to the person, I said, hey, what's experience that you want? Once again, we're selling experience. They had a vision of having a photo booth, a camera above the ball pit, which they were gonna provide the ball pit.
Yeah, okay.
I said, okay, perfect.
Just need to figure out the mount.
Yeah, we just need to figure out the mount. Yeah. So that's perfect. So that event, I think we did about $8,000 for that event.
Oh, wait, is that how many hours is that?
That was probably about 4 hours for the 4-hour event. Yeah, yeah, it worked great. And people were lining up, and they had a lot of fun. And it's a super unique event.
So corporate clients is probably the way to go.
Yep.
If you're marketing the photo booths as a business, right?
Yeah. They're heavily focused on the experience. They don't really have too much problem with the budget. They have a creative team that come up with some idea. And then when you get on the phone with them, you need to tell them, hey, how are we going to execute that idea? When you're working with the bride and groom, it's pretty straightforward. Hey, we're going to be at the Omni Hotel in Dallas. It's going to be a 4-hour event. We've got 500 people coming, and we need 2 hours. Then you got to say, hey, you know what? Two hours is not enough for 500 people. We want to make sure everybody gets a photo, so we need to match the amount of hours for the amount of people attending.
All right, makes sense. I love this question because there's a lot of things we can extract and learn from this, Josh, and that is the early days. With what you know now, what can you go back and do different? Like some of the errors you made, you didn't do it so well, but now you're like, man, if I was back there, I'd do it differently. Can you share with us some experiences that we can learn from?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest one for me that it kind of applies to a lot of things is when you're hiring people to do services for your business, filing taxes, doing accounting, running payroll, you don't have to know everything about that task that you're hiring for, but just know enough to know that that person is doing their job correctly. I think in our early years, we were naive, would be the word, and we would hire someone hoping that they're, do the job properly, and then come to find out, months later, like it wasn't done correctly, and then having to redo a lot of that work. And so I think a lot of the lesson there would be like, hey, let's just understand what we're hiring for ourselves, taking responsibility for that as a business owner, and then clearly outlining like, hey, whoever we're hiring for this position, this is exactly what we're looking for. We know what we're looking for, so they can't get the wool over our eyes, if you will,
What about like things about when it comes to execution as an entrepreneur, as a business owner? You've had all these many steps in the evolution of the business. Can you think of steps when you could have executed better, different, quicker, slower?
I'm known for executing too fast.
Is that the case?
Yeah, so there's definitely it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing.
What's the downside to that?
Well, obviously the focus. Focus is going to be split. It's going to be divided, and I think a lot of people don't account for that. Having multiple streams of income is the new cool thing, right? You see the TikToks, you see everybody saying the same thing, but if you're just starting off, you need to focus on one thing, right?
That's the key.
Then Warren Buffett said, right, put all your eggs in one basket and watch the basket. So there's a lot of key takeaways from that. Alex Moses also says that, hey, get that one business to $1 million, and then you can diversify after that. But attention is what we need to focus on. Yeah.
Tell us what's going on here. This is the original camera, by the way, you guys. Look at this.
This is the first
A guy with no manufacturing or engineering skills comes up with...
Yeah, you got to do the knot.
A photo booth.
Right, you got to do the knot. The camera was right here. We had the inkjet HB printer. That was right here. And then we had a screen. And this is all leftover equipment that we had laying around at the house at the time.
Wow, this is cool. You got so many awards, man. Congrats.
Oh, no. So these awards are from our customers. So
gotcha.
If you earn over $10,000 with your photo booth, you can apply for PBI awards.
Oh, nice.
So Kevin Johnson's one of our star guys. He's done over 6 figures with his business.
Good job, Kevin.
Almost approaching $1 million now.
No way.
Yeah, so he'll be our first verified winner that we've been tracking.
How many photo booths does he have to get to that number, you think?
Last I heard, he's around 6 photo booths.
That's it?
Yeah. He has a great job. He's still keeping his job. Lots of flexibility. He does this on the weekends.
That's amazing.
And he can create his schedule.
So a few years into the business, you're growing like crazy. You're doing more than 800 events a year. Things are going well, and then shortly after that, you and your business partner split, right? Talk to us about that experience. What did you learn about working with partners as opposed to alone? Was it daunting to think, oh, I'm going to do this on my own now? Help us understand what you learned.
Yeah, the thought of doing it alone is definitely daunting. You definitely have to be able to be in your mind and say like, hey, I'm gonna get the job done and be confident about it. Second of all, if you are working with someone, always start with the end in mind. So start with, me and you get into a business, hey, what does the end look like if we were to break up? That would be the first conversation that we'll have. Does it look like we part ways? You buy me out, I buy you out. We didn't have any of that planned, and so it made the breakup
kind of nasty.
Yeah, nasty. So lawsuits back and forth, that kind of stuff. So always start with the end in mind.
Interesting. All right, so by 2015, you're the unofficial, unnamed king of photo booth biz, at least in Texas, right?
Dallas, at least.
Dallas, yeah, Dallas. You know, there's a phrase, heavy's the head that wears the crown. But last time I checked, Josh, there isn't 800 days in a year. So how in the world does this guy manage yourself physically, mentally, emotionally to handle all that demand? Walk us through that time in your life and what you did, systems, processes to make it work.
Yeah, it was it was tough managing. We had a staff of about 20 people, and so we were doing multiple events per day. So it all comes down to preparations. The process was we would start communicating with them on a Monday, so they would already know ahead of time, hey, okay, Friday I need to be at the office at 5 o'clock, I need to go to the event by 7 o'clock, I'm done with the event by 9 o'clock, and I'll be back at the office by 10 o'clock. So we would give them the schedule, give them the route, and everything ahead of time. I felt like if we were give them the information early enough, that they would be prepared for it. And then we would also have the equipment ready for them whenever they arrive. We would make sure all the booths are tested, everything's working, the printer, make sure the props are good, we'll clean them, wipe them. So it made it easier for them to just go into the office, load up, and then head to the event and make sure that everything's already tested multiple times throughout the week.
That's wild. Yeah. 800 events with 20 people.
Yeah, with 20 people. Yeah.
20 staff. Give us a quick insight into how important it is for entrepreneurs who are hustling literally every day, 70 hours, 80 hours initially, right?
Initially,
How to stay emotionally in the game. What do you do? Is it exercise? Is it IV lab visits or whatever else people do to just get rejuvenated and so on?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough back then, especially when you're starting. I mean, we've all been there. I definitely neglected my health. I was like, I got to do this now. This is a window of opportunity. I think a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in that mindset. But looking back at it, if I was taking better care of myself, I think maybe I could have made more money or could have done more. Yeah, could have done more. So
that's a good connection.
Yeah. So looking back at it, don't neglect your health. I mean, they say working out increases blood flow to the brain, which can give you better ideas, maybe make you last longer, longer work days, and maybe more could come out of it. But yeah, looking back at it, I would definitely take better care of myself.
So 800 plus events in a year, which is nuts. You're doing all these rentals. You've got 20 people helping you out as a team, but you're renting only at that point, right?
Yep.
Was it that demand that made you think, light bulb, like, wait, why don't I sell this instead? Help us understand the evolution of renting to now selling only.
When things were going great, we were maxed out 800 events, and when we were working 7 days a week, 5 days we were in the office booking events, and then we're working on the weekends. Up until the last event gets dropped off in the office, it could be 12 a.m., could be 1 a.m.
Yeah,
so it was a lot. We ran into a scaling problem, and because you can only do so many events, you need more staff, you need more vehicles, you need more equipment. So we started analyzing the business like, hey, we're kind of maxed out here. What's the next step for us? And on top of that, every event we would go to, people would ask us, hey, where could I buy a photo booth from? So we saw an opportunity there to create Photo Booth International, and that's where it stemmed from. It's like, hey, we could help more people, we could scale it further because we're packaging a product and shipping it versus actually physically having to go to each of these events. There's only so many hours in the day, there's only so many events that happen in your city. So that's when we decided, like, hey, we can take all of our experience that we were very successful in the rentals, and then package it all up into a turnkey business and be the solution that we needed when we started.
Gotcha. So it's a total 180-degree turn. You're renting, that's your business, that's your revenue, to now you don't do events at all, right?
Right.
And what else grew out of that, Josh? Any support? I think you've got a university, something going on. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we got Photo Booth Sales University. So we found out once our customers get their photo booths, they need help closing the deal. They need help following up. So Photo Booth Sales University came out of that, where we actually focused mainly on teaching people how to sell and to close deals.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Excited to know more about that and how that benefits the customer as well.
For sure.
Where PBI is today, as I've learned, it's a company that basically lays out the red carpet for us. We come in and we create our own business based on what you've already done in the past. My question is, why do it in a way that gives us all the recipes for success, essentially?
Yeah, there's a lot of solutions out there, but they may not solve the problem. And so people can go and get books, they can go get help, they can buy courses. But my goal here is to provide a complete solution for them. And so that's the premise of PBI, is that you're going to get everything that you need. You won't have to go and guess. You won't have to go elsewhere to find anything else. We have all the information from the top to the bottom about this industry. And that's one of our unique selling points. We started off. We know what it's like to be at an event. We know what it's like when your printer doesn't work. We know what it's like when you get there and the elevator is not working. So we've had all those experiences. And so it's important for us to provide a turnkey solution for people that solves the problem that they're looking to solve.
Beautiful office. Curious how much time you actually spend here.
Not too much in here. I like to be at the office where I'm meeting clients. Just the other day we had someone driving from Nashville. I got to meet him and his wife and his kid.
That's like 27 or 17 hours or so?
17 hours. Just came all the way to meet us, to see the product, tour the facility, and start his business. You know, he's just retired as a police officer and he's ready to make his own American dream.
Wow. Let's switch gears and talk about what comes with buying a photo booth from you guys. What kind of resources, materials, training, access do we receive as part of the purchase and partnership with you?
Perfect. Yeah. So when you purchase a photo booth from us, you get all the equipment that you need, and then you're going to get contracts. You're going to get business training. You're going to get access to our courses. You're going to get access to our Facebook group, lifetime tech support, and then marketing photos and videos. So you're going to get everything that you'll need to get started off the ground. Ideally, whenever you make an order with us, we want to get you started as soon as possible. So you get access to all the materials, so you can actually start building your website. You can start creating your social media platforms and use the marketing photos that we have.
From the sound of it, you're kind of like Santa Claus, giving out an opportunity to create a money-making machine. It's a business that you can do part-time as opposed to full-time. I mean, that's what I'm hearing, so that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
What do you think is the number one tool or resource as we partner up with you, or someone does?
I would say the marketing materials that we offer to you. Let's say you were to place an order tonight.
Something that's overlooked.
Yeah, you can log into our platform on the back end. You can download the marketing materials, and you can go set up your Instagram tonight, and you can already have pictures as if it were you were in business already.
Let's talk about the numbers. I want to get into the business. I'm interested. It's exciting to me because it'll be a part-time gig. Help us understand the cost involved, typically, what it involves, the resources I get, how many photo booths that includes, everything possibly that we need to know.
Sure. So on average, we recommend our package is just under $19,000.
Okay.
You're going to get to pick any photo booth. You're going to get a backdrop, props, LLC setup, a logo, 6 months of coaching, and a 2-year warranty. Also standard with our packages, you're going to get business contracts, access to the private Facebook group, lifetime tech support, bank account. So you're going to get that package, and that's going to get you up and running.
$19,000 seems fair because you get a ton of value in that package, so that's awesome. Is there a chance that our viewers exclusively can get access to a special deal?
There is. So before you guys came out, we
Tell
were
us.
working behind the scenes, and we came up with an awesome discount, awesome package for you guys. So if you guys want to check out the package that we have exclusively for UpFlip viewers,
Wow.
go ahead and click the link below. We actually have that package that I just mentioned.
The $19,000?
$19,000.
How much
We
the
got
discount?
it. You guys ready?
Yes.
We have it for $12,500, $12,500.
Dude, that is fair.
That is fair.
Give it to me. Guys, take advantage of it right now when you get a chance. Click the link for more details. You will not regret it. All right, so I like these thrones.
Feeling like a king?
Yeah, feeling like a king, for sure. But I want to touch on, the fact that there's a lot of people out there in their day-to-day jobs who are unsatisfied, but they're paralyzed to take the next step. Can you talk to us about your advice on what they can do to just get out of that cycle, and take the next step, whether it's face the fear and so on and so on?
Yeah, perfect. I was there myself. I was working a corporate job, had a 401k, employee stock purchase plan. I wasn't happy, I wasn't getting opportunities, wasn't getting raises, and I knew that I just wasn't fulfilled. So I had to do something else on the side. Jumping in to what I did, it was risky because I didn't have anyone to show me the path. And that ties back to
creating a path.
Yeah, we had to create the path. And that kind of ties into what we do here as a company. Is like we provide everything that you need to be successful in the terms of contracts, training, coaching. So for those who are on the fence about it or thinking about it or scared, trying to do it on your own versus having a blueprint is going to be the big difference, right?
That's true.
And that's the risk. So I recommend whatever it is, whether you decide to start a side hustle with us or someone else, just make sure they've already accomplished what you're going after.
That's well said. Let me touch on real quick the moment where you left the corporate job and pursued this. Somebody's watching, they want to pursue something else, but they're paralyzed. They want to go back to that word. What helped you in that moment?
I think for me, I went to work one day, they walked in and called us all to the conference room, and they said, hey, we're moving this entire department overseas. At that point, that was actually the second time that happened to me, and I didn't want the third time to happen. And so that was the turning point for me. I said, hey, this is the time now that I need to go ahead and do this and not wait for the third time for this to happen again.
Guys, if you're enjoying this video, do us a huge favor. Hit that like and subscribe button so that we can continue to bring you inspirational stories just like Josh here. Thank you for watching. Josh, tell me what this thing is, because this thing is freaking cool looking. Reminds me of the Tron movie, but obviously this isn't the Tron photo booth.
It's not. We can't.
Can't
We already
correlate
learned that lesson.
But what does this mean for your company? Like, what's the idea behind this? What do you hope to achieve in the next 3 to 5 years with this setup here?
Yeah, our goal is to offer our customer a passive income opportunity, and
That's so cool.
They could essentially drop these off or place these at different locations, and people go in there. There's a credit card reader. They can take a couple of photos and pay a couple of bucks and get their photos right away, and you don't really have to attend the photo booth. So we're still working on this.
Is this a prototype?
Yeah, it's a prototype, so you guys are getting first access to it.
What do you think it's going to cost me?
It's going to
Roughly?
be around 15,000.
15K?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they are I've seen them in super malls and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they're different. They don't look as cool.
It's all about attracting people, right?
Absolutely.
And then also we're going to have, credit card payments, so it's going to be super passive. I mean, minimal time investment. You can go check on it maybe once a quarter or something like that.
Nice.
It can hold 700 prints at a time.
Wow. Cash making machine.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, these photo booths is definitely something I would be interested in, honestly, just because they're fun. Like you said, you're providing an opportunity for an experience. If I had one or two, can you break down the numbers? What can I charge per event? What do the margins look like as well? And then just operations. How many hours do I commit to an event? What does all that look like?
So on a rule of thumb that I like to say, it's about $250 an hour.
$250?
Is what a rental would go like. And it depends if you're in New York City, if you're in Miami, if you're in Dallas. So that's gonna based on that. And then what you can do to increase that is add on packages like these chairs. So you can easily take a $1,000 event, add a throne chair to it, get an extra $1,500.
Are these chairs what, $250 an hour too, or just one time for the whole event?
Yeah, exactly, one time for a whole event. The goal here is not to do more events, is to get more from each event. So how can we bundle something together? How could we add a backdrop? Could we add uplights? Could we add a scrapbook? Could we add extra prints, maybe a digital book or copies of all the photos provided to the bride and groom? So there's many different options with that.
That's a lot. Okay. And then what are the margins in general? Let's say I have an event and it's $1,000 that the customer's paying me. At the end of the day, what's my margin? 30, 40%, 50, more?
I would say it's more than that. If you're operating from your house, it just depends what your overhead is. I mean, you obviously got your gas for travel, your insurance. The ink and paper is very, very cheap, so it's not going to be too much expense.
These days,
Yeah, so I would say around 80%.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Now that's a good profit margin. And you have a very, very happy customer at the end too, right? So now you're super happy.
Exactly.
And then the customer. How are you reaching, finding, and discovering new customers today?
So right now we do a lot of YouTube, and so we showcase the opportunity, we showcase my story, my background, and the successes of our customers. So that would be one of our primary ways. Other ways, obviously Google ads and Facebook ads.
As a company, if I may ask, what are you spending on marketing and just getting your name out there on a monthly basis?
We spend around $20,000 a month.
20 grand?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a pretty good number, because your revenues on average for 24 projected to be where per month? for the company? You're around $500,000 a month?
Yeah, we're on half
in revenue.
Yeah, our goal is to get to $1 million a month.
Dude, that's wild. Hey guys, you know that YouTube is not the only thing we do to inspire and educate other entrepreneurs. We appreciate you watching. However, if you're a seasoned business pro or just getting started, head over to UpFlip.com for more resources, blueprints on how to scale and grow businesses. Check it out. So you also have a YouTube channel, and I'm curious, how important is content creation, not only for the current customers, but also informing and finding new ones as well? Can you just speak and elaborate on that?
Yeah, I like shooting content to give back to people, show them how to use our product. Anyone can make a product nowadays and sell it, but it takes someone who really cares to go out there, show people how to use it, how to grow their business, and then connect with their customers. So we get a lot of customers that follow us for years before they can maybe be in a position to purchase a photo booth, or finally make the decision to purchase it. And so it makes the sale a lot easier for us when they've been watching us for several years.
For other industries, Josh, as well, talk more a little bit about how important is content creation in general, right? Not necessarily photo booth, but what does that do to a business when you go that route, you get a camera out and you start telling a story? What have you seen and experienced?
From our customers, they say that we're more transparent than anybody else. And people nowadays, there's so much of fake stuff online, and people being sold to all the time. They want that real behind the scenes stuff. That's why reality TV is so
even though it's not real.
Even though it's not real,
scripted.
It's scripted, yeah. But people want to see behind the scenes. I feel like that's a big thing for companies that they need to do, and it's been massive for us.
As someone who's built a business around taking care of others, when do you have your quote-unquote Josh time to take care of yourself, and how do you do that, Josh?
I like to ride my ATVs on the weekends. I live out in the country, so...
You got some acreage?
Yeah, I got some acreage there, so that's always fun to unplug.
What else do you do besides ATVs? In Texas here?
In Texas, I like to DJ. I'm a DJ. I produce music.
You still do that?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. We're going to listen to this on our way to Austin.
Yeah, I'll get you in the moment.
Trans and...
This one did real good. It got played on the State of Trans.
This one?
Yeah.
That's so cool. You wrote this?
Yeah.
Man, you're creative. All right, we'll bump it up in the car. Okay, let's... So photos obviously capture a moment in time, my history and stuff like that. Is there a moment in the origins of the business that you wish you would have captured but didn't, and why would you want it now?
I would say in the beginning, like the first 6 months, the first year, we were operating out of a condo. It was just a bedroom. We had 2 desks in there. We had the photo booth in there. And it was really cramped, and we had 2 computers, and it was like me and my business partner at the time. And I wish I had more footage of that just to kind of, have perspective of like where you came from.
Why is that important? Like people watching us right now who are starting a new journey, why would your advice to them be like, hey, pick up the phone, record everything, create that content? Why?
People like to follow a good story. People like to see the origins, how you get started, and they want to help the underdog. They want to see like, hey, if you got a good story, like if you struggled, you're a single mom, you bought a photo booth, you want it to work. They want to support that kind of business. And so I think if you share that kind of story out there on the platform, that can help you grow your business.
In a world where you can take selfies and photos many different ways now, Josh, why do you think photo booths will be a staple for events moving forward?
Well, what we're doing is we're selling an experience. That experience where the photo booth is there at a wedding, grandma came in from out of town, the whole family is together. I remember my wedding, family flew in from overseas. We were able to get in front of the photo booth. We took a picture. The picture printed out instantly. And we were able to, give them the photos. They were able to take it back home with them instead of having the photos on a cloud drive somewhere that you never get to see them. Sometimes I remember we got a call one time. They said, hey, we need a copy of the photo because grandma had just passed away, and that was the last family photo that we took together was at the photo booth at someone's wedding. And so that's the experience. It's a little different when you just whip out the phone. Anyone could take a picture with their phone, but it's stuck on the phone. Grandma doesn't have a phone. How is she going to see the photo?
Well, even if like people, my wife's got I think like 14,000 pictures in her iPhone. I'm like,
there you go.
What are the chances that we see all of them? This is making that one captured moment.
It's that moment.
Tangible. It's in your hand. And I don't think you can beat that.
You go back, you put it on the fridge, you put it in the office cubicle, and when you get a chance, you look over at it and you just remember that moment.
What about your recommendation for events that you wouldn't want to typically take a photo booth to? I mean, I'm kind of thinking, funerals, that sounds like a good idea, but maybe it'll be off-putting to some people. So are there events where photo booths are not an option?
I would say I'll be careful for like public events, like parades, You know, it can get a little rowdy. You got people drinking. You know, we have the St. Patrick's Day parade here in Dallas. Like, I wouldn't recommend taking a photo booth out there.
They
People
just get destroyed or something.
Yeah, I think people just get, you know, when you got crowds, like massive crowds, everybody's drinking, maybe like heavy sports, you know, some sports teams, you know, they get a little rowdier than others. You want to be careful for that.
Josh, it's been absolutely a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing your story and really the offer you're giving us and our viewers as well. I think that's incredible.
Cool. Thank you very much for coming.
Our pleasure.
Enjoyed it.
What an incredible story. If you're looking for a picture-perfect business or a side hustle of your own, you've got to check out this episode where a snack fiend turned his vending machine side hustle into a $50,000 a month empire. And you'll be stunned on how simple the process was. Take a second to like, subscribe, and we will see you next time.